Today I'm going to demonstrate how to solder a 3-pin XLR connector to an audio cable. XLR connectors are generally used for mic audio in a broadcast or sound reinforcement system. To make the connection, you'll need a soldering station, a vise, wire strippers, solder, XLR connector, and audio cable. A 22 gauge single pair audio cable with a drain wire is used a lot of the times with mic level signal. Your XLR connectors are generally a 2-piece connector with one end showing the pins or receptacles if it's a female, and then solder cups on the back. This piece generally has some sort of a strain relief built in and protects the connections made at the soldering cups. When making a connection, the first thing you do is you put the back part of the connector through the wire. You score the wire about 3/4 of an inch back. Take the outer jacket off and then separate the 3 conductors within the jacket. In an XLR connection, there is a positive, which is the red, negative, which is the black, and then the drain or the ground, which is the bare. The next step is to score and strip a small section of the positive and negative back. And then to take your solder and apply a small amount of solder and melt into the stranded wire on each end of each conductor. This allows the wires to adhere to the solder cups when making the final connection. On an XLR connector, the connectors are labeled. They're numbered 1, 2, and 3. On a male connection like this, the right solder cup has a number 2 by it, the left has a number 1, and then the top over here has a number 3. And how that corresponds with the cables, generally your positive is the red, that's number 2. Your negative is the black, that's number 3. And then the bare or shield is number 1. Take your XLR connector and firmly secure it in your vise in a position that will allow you to add solder to the soldering cups. Take your soldering iron, that's generally, I like to set at between 650 and 700 degrees, and fill the solder cups with solder. Since the cables were tinned earlier, all you need to do is reheat the solder within each cup and set the cable or the wire down into the solder cup until it cools down and adheres. Number 2 is red, number 1 is shield, then number 3 is your black or your negative. Once it's dry or once it's cooled down, it forms a strong bond. On a cable end type XLR connector, the bare wire can be exposed. If it was on a chassis mount type connector where there's a chance of other metal or other wire connectors coming into contact with the drain wire, you would want to put a small piece of shrink tube over the drain wire to avoid shorting out or to avoid interference with this particular mic cable. At this point we can screw the connector together, and as you tighten it, this particular connector has some strain relief built in that clamps down onto the wire that protects the wire from pulling off if it was under stress. And that's it.